Hi, welcome to the Shabby and Man podcast, where partners, parents and
podcasters, broadcasters and everything else in between.
Well, my mind was on other things. As we're recording this, World War III seems to be imminent. Yep, there's an impending doom looming. It's quite scary. Russia has invaded Ukraine, as you all know, and everything is at the moment topsy-turvy. And, by the time you hear this podcast, who knows what would have happened.
There's a very interesting piece in The Economist which says, can humans change the way they behave, or does history repeat itself endlessly, with humans forever condemned to reenact past tragedies without changing anything except the decor?
Well, history always repeats itself, but what are you trying to say, that now that we've moved so much forward in the world, that war is something that people don't do anymore?
Yeah, that's exactly what it says actually. It says in the past few generations, for the first time in history, the world became dominated by elites who see war as both evil and avoidable. And if it again becomes normative for powerful countries to wolf down their weaker neighbors, it would affect the people all over the world, and it would affect how we feel and behave. So essentially what they're saying is that Russia invading Ukraine, this should concern every person on earth, no matter what your political leanings.
Why should it concern everyone?
Because that's what it's arguing, that war is an outdated concept. But now, with Russia invading Ukraine, if this becomes de rigueur one more time, then people all over the world would think of other ways of defending their countries rather than, peace talks and everything else that they have done.
But is it? I disagree with this article. You think this is an outdated concept? In the last 10 years, I can think of quite a few wars in my head.
But these wars always happen within parameters that are acceptable to the West, the first world. This is probably for the first time that the first world is actually being threatened by something which is happening in its own backyard, and it is powerless to control despite...
It's the first war in Europe.
Yeah, some of the biggest countries.
I don't kind of like this attitude that because it's in the West, it's a war. What about all the stuff that happens in the Middle East and in... as I use the word, impoverished countries? That's okay.
Well, I didn't go to war with Ukraine, so why are you asking me?
Anyway,
yeah, there are enough people raising
concerns. Anyway.
Yeah, there are enough people raising concerns over that and marching up and down various cities, I'm sure, highlighting exactly that. So Ukraine and Russia, of course, is the biggest story this week. Since we recorded our last episode. What else? Lots happening.
You've been very busy this week, haven't you?
Yeah.
Premieres, previews.
So I went for the press preview of Sanjay Leela Bhansali's latest film, Gangubai Kathiawadi. And I've been reliably informed that my review on the radio was sent to his team, Sanjay Leela Bhansali's team, and in all likelihood he's heard it too. So I don't know whether he approves or disapproves. But
wasn't he going to make I thought he was planning to phone you. Or did that not work out?
That didn't happen, no.
Oh.
But,
You might as well tell us what the review was then.
I quite enjoyed it. I think I enjoyed it far more than I enjoyed Padmavat. And...
Can I just butt in? Sanjay Leela Bhansali, for me, I feel he peaked at Devdas. For me, it was... what was the movie before that with Ajay Devgan and Salman Khan and Ashwini
Hum Dil
Rai?
De Chuke Sanam.
I love that movie. And I like Devdas. And then after that, he's alright.
Yeah, but I think he's done a good job with this one. And I think especially for people who are fans of his brand of cinema, if you like that sweeping landscape, if you like the intensity of emotions, then it is something that people will enjoy. And what brings the story to life is, I think, the power-packed, tight-knit ensemble. You've got Ajay Devgan, who is such a force to reckon with. I mean, he doesn't need dialogue to make a statement on screen. You've got this Shantanu Maheshwari, a young boy, his debut in Bollywood. And, he's played this young man absolutely head over heels in love with Gangubai's character. And I think even the way he's played it is really beautiful. Then you've got a whole list of people weaving in and out of the story. You've got Seema Pahwa as the madam of the brothel. She rules with an iron fist and she's driven by her greed for money. You've got Vijay Raz, who's Gangu's political nemesis, doing a great job. You've got Jim Sarb, who plays the young, fresh-faced journalist. So there's a lot going on. And of course, last but not least, you've got the star of the show, Alia Bhatt, who I think was absolutely phenomenal. The way she charts the journey of Gangu's life from being this fragile, weakling almost in Kathiawar, Ganga in Kathiawar, her gradual transformation, when she finally ends up as the Madam of Kamatipura. I think that is absolutely phenomenal, and it does put Alia in a league of her own. But
so you enjoyed it? No negative.
If I were to really critique it properly and find two things that I feel could have been handled better. And I have a problem with many films that are guilty of this, it is the length of the film. I thought the first half was really briskly edited, and it was pacey, and it was really good. And once you've set the scene, and once you've given us what the background is, moving on to the next rung of the ladder was rather slow. And I also feel that there were extreme sentiments expressed in the film that may not sit right with many of us, because this is about a prostitute, and this is about Gangubai, who spoke about legalizing prostitution. She speaks about being extremely proud of her profession as a prostitute, in the same way that a doctor would be proud of his profession. So these are all things which go against our conditioning, against our value system. So I can imagine
a lot of trouble.
Of course, absolutely. The controversy is Sanjay Leela Bhansali's middle name, and you can see why. But on balance, I thought the entire Sanjay Leela Bhansali aesthetic is summed up in one scene for me, where Gangubai's character is having a conversation with Shantanu Maheshwari's character, who's brought her a lot of saris. Sariyon ka pura dher leke uske paas aaya hai, so that she can choose one. And she asks him to pick a sari for him, and he says he's a little puzzled. He's saying that, why are you asking me? They're all white saris. You can pick any you like. And that is where Sanjay Leela, the typical Bhansali dialogue, where Alia Bhatt turns around and says कि हाँ सब सफ़ेद तो है, लेकिन कौन सा सफ़ेद? चांद वाला या बादल वाला, दूध वाला या बर्फ वाला, मोती वाला या सीपी वाला. If you see life in black and white, then this may be something which you don't enjoy much. But I think if you see see and appreciate the shades and variations and nuances in how people live and love and behave, then this would definitely be a compelling watch.
You said, how long was it? 2.5 hours? You think that's too long?
I thought it was too long. It could have been cut down by 40 minutes easily.
Aajkal youth. I'm from that era where we'd watch Manmohan Desai movies, and if they weren't over 3 hours, we'd think Pasa Vasool nahi hua. We've been mugged.
Yeah, but I think OTT is changing all that, mercifully. We saw something on OTT as well. Love Hostel, Bobby Deol, Vikrant Massey, and what's her name? Sania Malhotra's Love Hostel.
This got very mixed reviews because it had a rather weird ending. I think they tried to make it very modernistic. What do you think?
What did you think?
It was all right. I didn't really like the ending that much, and they threw in every stereotype they could. They went for it. Bish bosh bash. It was too much.
Yeah, it's not my favorite genre anyway, but I think
dark comedy.
Yeah, but it was 2 rungs above what Andhadhun was, I felt. But if there is a silver lining to this, I feel that it's very heartening to see Bollywood cater to a niche finally. And I say Bollywood loosely, of course. This is a film made by Shah Rukh Khan's Red Chilli specifically for OTT. But finally not catering to the lowest common denomination, and therefore throwing in everything from an item number to romance to action to drama to melodrama
to caste system,
love
jihad,
all in the same film. This is clearly a niche, and this is catering to a very specific set of people in the audience. And it's good to see that there are stars of the stature of Bobby Deol who are willing to star in it happily and even play the anti-hero. So I suppose if there is a silver lining, it has to be that.
Anything else you saw?
I saw Madhuri Dixit's OTT debut as well, The Fame Game.
Yeah, you've been busy.
I've been busy, 8 episodes of that, and I think I enjoyed that as well. Although, again, there's nothing new in the story which you don't already know about showbiz, that obviously there is a lot going on beneath the surface that the world doesn't see. And I think if you've read enough crime fiction, if you've watched enough crime thrillers, then...
Is this like Call My Agent kind of stuff?
It is something, no. It's a crime thriller. The star goes missing, and then in the investigation that follows, that is where you're led behind the scenes, and you find out how each character, what her relationship was with every member of her family, every member of her team, and the huge discrepancy between the persona and the reality. So if you've seen enough thrillers, read enough thrillers, obviously they've left the door open for a season 2, I feel. But it's a foregone conclusion. When, at the end of episode 1, you more or less know how it's going to end. But it is a gripping watch, nonetheless. And for Madhuri alone, I think.
So you recommend it?
I do.
Right. I don't think I watched anything. I can't think of what I watched. Anything else you can think about? I know that day before yesterday, you came back with some aloo ke parathe and achar.
I did.
Yeah? Which is very nice and rare. Wow, how come you don't normally bring it back home? Is it a long trudge to pack this and bring it?
Yeah. I don't want the entire tube to know what I'm carrying in my bag.
Well, I somehow love the pickles that come with it. Yeah, even the mirchi doesn't feel too much like mirchi. Yeah?
I think so, yeah.
Well, what's your favorite paratha then? You brought aloo ke paratha, but what would be your favorite?
I think aloo ke paratha has to be my favorite.
Not gobi, mooli, methi. I think I know that some people splash out on paneer parathe. And king of parathas is, of course, keema.
I would stick to aloo.
I know lots of people here say, don't say paratha. They say the Punjabi word because obviously that's what they've heard their parents say. They say parothe, parotha. But because I guess I've lived in India, I say paratha because there's a Parathawadi gully near us in Delhi.
Yeah. But also the technique of making aloo ka paratha, I think. I'm not very big on making parathas myself. But whether you make the dough and
then... it's hard work, the billing thing.
No, you make the dough and you stuff the aloo inside it and then you roll it out, or whether you knead the aloo into the dough and then roll it out. I think
No, you stuff the aloo inside and then you scrimp the sides and then you roll it with your billing and then on the tawa and pachow, it's made. Flip it twice.
Yeah, well, there you go. And?
That's it. I just think of parathas.
Now, where do you think you've had the most memorable parathas?
There's so many places. Probably, that the highway between Delhi to Punjab, National Highway something. When you go from Delhi, say, Amritsar to Jalandhar, the parathas on the roadside cafes, those dhabas where you sit on I forgot the name of the bed, charpai. You sit on a charpai, have some karak chai, and you get some paratha and you get some achar. And normally it's stuffed parathas, kulcha type, And of course, as I said, the king of parathas is a keema naan. But you can't have too many of them. But that would probably be my favorite place to have.
In a dhaba, on a highway?
Yeah, obviously in a dhaba. Where did you think I meant? Sitting on the bonnet?
No, also maybe you were mentioning Parathe Wali Gali in Delhi as well.
Yeah, Parathe Wali Gali is also very good. But if you want different types, it's not just piyaz. I believe they do, and I've tasted it as well, they do dal ke parathe as well, and different types of dal. So you can say, I don't know, you can say moong dal ki paratha chahiye.
Moong dal ke parathe and all, I think, a very Maharashtrian thing.
You get it there as well, I do remember. But my favorite would probably be mooli. I'm not the biggest fan of gobi ke parathe, though I know people love it. It's made with a bit of a tikki of makhan.
White butter.
Safed makhan. It's always the best. Do we get safed makhan in London? No.
Don't know, I've never seen it.
I think you have to make it yourself,
What else? So something rather interesting happened the other day, a couple of days ago, when our son suddenly came and told us he was off to a festival.
That was quite funny because, I was imagining Glastonbury. What do the kids go? What's
Reading,
the kids? Reading.
Download, wireless.
Those are the ones.
Yeah.
We used to go to Love Supreme, a jazz festival.
Yeah.
So we were quite shocked, when he bought his tickets, he's got the wristband. And what was it? It was, are you ready for this? It was a maths festival. Yep. There were maths dons, YouTubers, maths geeks, teachers.
Even a stand-up mathematician.
There was a stand-up mathematician.
Yeah.
So we thought, all right, we can put off the Portaloos, sex, drugs, rock and roll, whatever festivals are all about. We can put it off for another year.
Yeah. So and it was at the Royal Institute. So he went and I think he had fun. I think he enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So
he went with a couple of his mates.
Yeah. He's got all those other festivals to look forward to for the rest of his life, I suppose. Although university life is where it really kicks off. For us, I remember in India when you're at uni, it is inter-university festivals, which are the most fun.
Did you never host any?
I can't remember. No, I doubt it very much. But yeah, we had one in our college as well. But I don't know what you mean, host as in present.
Yeah. I remember doing the Ames one and the other one.
Yeah.
You know, when they have the little rock I'm talking about the rock concerts.
Rock show, yeah, because a festival is over 3-4 days and there are events all day long. There's debating, there's dramatics, there's rock concerts, elocution, anything and everything, art, anything and everything you can think of. Dumb charades. So yeah, we had our experience of festivals in India. I think is very different.
You played dumb charades against another college?
Yeah, you play dumb charades against other colleges all across at a national level. If it's
you get a tracksuit at the back which says things like dumb charade champion?
No, don't be silly, okay? But you could, I suppose, you could get that. But festivals mean something very different to university students in India. Here, of course, it's all about music.
What does it mean there, festivals then?
No, as in it's not. It's just essentially music. For music. It's essentially for university crowds. It's inter-university festivals. Those are the most fun.
Things have changed now. Don't you see these huge festivals happening in Goa?
Yeah, of course.
Sundance Festival.
In addition to everything else that happens.
Sundown Festival, actually, I think, is a big rave one.
Then there's a Sufi one that happens in Lucknow, which is a very big one as well. Since we moved here, sadly.
That'd be amazing. I'd love to see that. I've seen one amazing Sufi festival in Delhi, in the ruins. I think it was Horse Cars, over 2 days. And it has to do with where you are as well. That's why Glastonbury is so cool, you know. It's not too far from Stonehenge.
Where you are in life or where you are geographically?
Geographically. Probably in life as well, but especially geographically. So the atmosphere when I saw that Sufi concert in those ruins just brought it up a notch, you know.
Yeah. I remember one of my most memorable ones was something the Times of India organized. It was called a Sangeet Surya Parikrama. So all the big classical musicians at the time, whether it was Pandit Hari Prasad Chaurasia, Shiv Kumar Sharma, Zakir Hussain, you name it, they played ragas which were suitable for that time of the day, and it was a 24-hour thing which started late evening and it finished the next evening.
You mean like afternoon raga, late night raga?
All of that. And
I think they should have given a free ticket to anyone who could pronounce the name. What was it again?
Which one? What?
What was the name of the concert again?
Oh, Sangeet Surya Parikrama.
Sangeet Surya Parikrama.
Yeah, as in music going around the sun. A music festival that, generally, a 24-hour music festival. And that, again, was held, I think,
and you
either in the Red Fort.
You stay there for 24 hours?
Yeah, they've got dust sprawled all around. You've got food and drink, like light refreshments. If you can't, obviously you only stay as long as you want, then you go home. But I think most people, we went in a huge group. Most of us stayed up the whole day and the whole night. So it was great fun. And you're there to see some of the biggest names in classical music as well, which you normally would have to pay very, very heavily to see them. But as university students, that was the charm, I suppose.
Where is it held? Inside the university?
No. It was a Times of India thing. It was held, I think, in the Red Fort or somewhere, again, in a very historic place. So it adds to the ambience. Yeah.
You've been to the Horse Cars once?
No, I haven't.
They were good fun.
And there are loads of theatre festivals also that happen in India now, which spoken word festivals, theatre festivals.
I don't know why we're talking about India, because we've been to so many festivals here.
Yeah.
I think for me, the funniest one was that...
I love DST, Hyde Park. I love that.
Some big names there.
I love Love Supreme as well.
My favorite one was on a farm. It's now no longer there. But one occasion, they had two different stages. And they had one band and one superstar headlining at the same time. So I had to run between place to place because they're both my favorites. On one stage was Bob Dylan, and
we saw him in Love Supreme as well.
No, that was Van Morrison.
No, we've seen Bob Dylan as well.
He would never do Love Supreme.
We've seen Bob Dylan. Bilkul, don't you remember when they said that, there's a policy that they're not zooming in on his face because he's a certain age now and he doesn't like close-ups?
Yeah, so that's the story I'm telling you. That on one stage was him, and on the other stage was Primal Scream.
Oh, was it the same day?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about some concert which you went to ages ago.
No. But I once went to an Irish festival in my college years, and Van Morrison, it was an Irish festival. Van Morrison was headlining. He's been we've seen him many, many times. But he brought Bob Dylan out on stage. So it was really cool. They sang one Bob Dylan song, they sang one Van Morrison song, the song, it made my day.
And of course, you show your age where you say that you love Folk by the Oak as well, which is around the corner from where we live here in Hertfordshire.
Bit of folk music.
Folk music. But that's nice because of the ambience. It is in a beautiful setting. It is the only festival we know which always ends with grand fireworks.
It's close to us, which helps.
The only problem is that it's always on a Sunday. I think they feel that Buddhas and Buddhis who come to that festival normally don't have work to go to next morning.
And historically, the oak tree, it's called Folk by the Oak because that is the oak tree where Queen Elizabeth I was sitting when she was told, I think.
When she told that her father had died and she had become queen.
I think
Queen of England, yes. Like that, yeah. So there it's of huge historic significance.
In the 1500s, probably.
Yeah.
It could be 1600s.
So who knows?
My history is very poor.
This year, Maths Fest. Next year, for our son, it could be any one of these, which will be interesting as well.
Well, with that, shall we say bye-bye?
Yeah, let's do.
Okay then. Till next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.